Welcome to EarthChangers, where we talk every week with people making a difference in the upstate. Change a mind, change a life, change the earth. Here's your host, Amy Hyder.
Good morning and welcome to EarthChangers. I'm Amy Hyder, your host. Joining me on the phone this morning is Megan Ramsey. Megan is the Marketing and Communications Director for the American Heart Association of the Upstate. Good morning, Megan.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. And we're speaking today because it is Women's Heart Health Month, correct?
That is right. It is an American Heart Month, which we celebrate from February 1st through the end.
And it's covering a whole lot of facets about heart health. We had the Wear Red Day on Friday. And actually, we're taping this on Friday, so I'm wearing red. So I hope you're happy with that. Tell us about some of the things that are going on this month to increase awareness of heart health and what you can do to help yourself.
Sure. So in addition to, Wear Red Day, we have a huge effort across the upstate called Paint the Town Red, where we have actually recruited 12 local heart and stroke survivors who really serve as the face of this campaign. So we have challenged these women to recruit local upstate businesses to go red, essentially. And they have painted the town red by displaying a red dress in their storefront. So over 200 local businesses have, embraced this campaign and are really working to help raise awareness. We've got some gyms that are hosting, events and, really taking initiatives on their own about the importance of your heart health. So if you see a red dress in a storefront in February, you'll know why.
Now, what sort of toll does heart disease take on people? I mean, what are we looking at here? How does this affect the United States?
Absolutely. So the reality is, specifically with women, 1 in 3 women will die of heart disease. And a woman dies of heart disease or stroke every 80 seconds. But the good news is it is 80% preventable. So, there's not many diseases that we think of, we know for a fact that this is 80% preventable. So, doing simple steps, and we call those Life Simple 7. There are 7 simple steps that you can do to take control of your health. That includes getting active, controlling your cholesterol, eating better, managing your blood pressure, losing weight, keeping your blood sugar down, and one of the most obvious, stop smoking. So just by focusing on those factors, which most of us already know, you can greatly reduce your chance or your risk of heart disease.
Yeah. And one thing I think people don't understand is how interconnected all those things are. That if you get more exercise, suddenly your blood pressure starts to go down. You start to lose weight. As you lose weight, it's all interconnected. As things get worse in a sort of cascading way, they also get better in a sort of cascading way. Right?
Absolutely. And, one thing that we really encourage to people is go to your doctor, know those numbers, because once you know those numbers, that really gives you a baseline and gives you, an idea of where you need to improve. We actually have an online resource called mylifecheck.org where you can go in and log your numbers in these different categories, and it'll actually give you a heart score and some recommendations on where you can improve. So that's a great resource, free that we can provide. But again, it all starts with going to your doctor, getting those numbers, and, kind of figuring out where you're at in terms of your heart health.
That's wonderful. And we'll bring that up again before the end of this segment, mylifecheck.org. So very nice resource. And I'm afraid I feel like I cut you off a little bit earlier. You were so telling us about all the red dresses across the upstate. And that's great. Everybody, when you're out, look out for that. All month long, red dresses in the window. But that's not the only thing going on this month either, besides the Wear Red Day, the dresses in the windows. You've also got a pretty major event coming up in the middle of the month, correct?
We do. So we have the Upstate Heart Ball. It's happening on February 17th. This is our biggest fundraiser here in the Upstate. Last year, we raised a record-breaking $1 million, which is the first $1 million AHA event in South Carolina. So from being in the Upstate, we are, very proud of that. Mm-hmm. So this year, we, expect, to continue on that momentum. We've got over 800 guests attending so far. We've got some really great live and silent auction, dinner, a great band that'll be playing. And it's really a chance for us to celebrate the year-long efforts of this campaign while honoring some local survivors here in our community.
Mm-hmm. And as a tie-in, if you want to make a romantic occasion out of it, it's also on Valentine's weekend. So,
That's right.
Yeah.
So what lady wouldn't love to be treated and dress up and, have a fun evening?
Mm-hmm. At a ball and maybe win something in a silent auction. And it's
That's
a
right.
win-win-win-win all around.
Absolutely. We've got some really incredible auction items this year. We've got some really great getaways. One of our most popular items last year that's coming back this year is a trip to New York with tickets to Jimmy Fallon. And then also tickets to Live with Kelly and Ryan. So, that's a really exciting item. We've got some great sports memorabilia, autographed for both our, Tiger and Gamecock fans. And, we also have some NFL stuff from the Panthers. So it should be a really exciting evening.
Oh, that sounds like so much fun. Music and dancing too?
That's right, of course.
And so then you're getting that exercise in.
There you go. Yes, we want you to stay active. You will be on your feet some, so wear comfortable shoes.
And I imagine the food is heart healthy as well.
Yes, yes. So I know this year, I believe we've got delicious fish and, a lean filet dish. So it's just, all in all, a great event.
That sounds wonderful. That sounds like a whole lot of fun. And
it certainly is.
Yeah. So, and you guys do stay very active year round promoting.
We do. So, in addition to all of our February efforts, we also have a heart walk that happens in April.
And we'll have you back on
community.
That. Yeah.
Yeah. So we do that. We also, in addition to our events, there's a lot of things that we work to do to improve policies and initiate heart health initiatives just in our community. Just last year, we worked to pass the CPR in schools bill. So now this year, every student that graduates from high school is required to learn hands-only CPR for graduation.
That's wonderful.
So, just knowing now that we have so many more lifesavers on the streets. I mean, just knowing hands-only CPR can double or triple a victim's chance of survival is huge. So those are, just a few examples of our local efforts, to raise awareness and, just continue to fight.
Now, I know one of the biggest problems with awareness is people are still largely unaware that the symptoms of a woman's heart attack can be very different from the classic symptoms of a male heart attack, which are the symptoms that we're all trained to see.
Absolutely. So, a lot of us think of a heart attack as that Hollywood type heart attack where you grab your chest, you have that pain, and then you collapse. But in fact, that's really cannot be the case, particularly in women, but also in men.
Okay.
So listening to your body is key to, preventing heart disease and preventing a heart attack. Some symptoms of that heart attack can be something like indigestion or jaw pain. So things, especially as women, that I think often we get so wrapped up in our day and we tend to ignore those because we're trying to take care of the kids or, manage a household. But, just little subtle symptoms like indigestion. If something just doesn't feel right, we just really encourage you to go to the doctor and get it checked out. 9 times out of 10, every survivor that we meet says, in hindsight, I knew my body was talking to me, and I knew that those symptoms were telling me something. So it's just so important to listen to your body.
Yeah, it really, really is. And it can be hard to tell, but when there's something wrong. You know, it's
exactly
like the difference. You know when you've got a cold, and you know when you've got the flu. You know,
that's right.
they're
right.
two
And
very
honestly,
different feelings. Yeah.
That's right. Personally, I would rather go to the doctor 100 times and feel a little silly than not go to the doctor and, suffer a terrible event. So, we just encourage everybody, any symptoms, particularly those ones that wouldn't necessarily correlate with heart disease, like the indigestion, the jaw pain, obviously the arm pain, go to your doctor.
Now, arm pain, is that side specific?
Yeah, so specifically for a heart attack, it's typically in your left arm.
Okay, so unexpected pain in your left arm. The jaw, is it your whole jaw? I mean, I have a hard time imagining.
It varies. So from person to person, just any sort of, unusual jaw pain, can be a symptom. But obviously it could be a symptom of something else. But the fact that something is a little off, we would just encourage you to check it out.
Yeah, and just keep your body ticking. keep it.
That's right.
Ticking over as best you can. Know what your blood pressure is. There are plenty of places to check that these days.
Absolutely. You can, go to your local pharmacy.
Yeah.
You can even purchase your own blood pressure cuff, for $20. So blood pressure is really a huge factor in heart disease. So just by monitoring that and maintaining it, can greatly reduce your risk.
Yeah, and how closely is, you said the cholesterol readings, how closely is that tied with heart disease?
Cholesterol is another huge factor. Those are two of the things that really affect heart disease. And your risk are blood pressure and cholesterol. So those are actually two things through our science and research that we are really trying to hyper focus on and educate people that, these are things that one, are easily controlled, but two, you also need to really keep a close eye on and monitor.
Yeah. So, okay, just make yourself aware, get yourself educated. Can they go to the American Heart Association website to find out more about that?
Absolutely. So visit our website. It's heart.org. We have a ton of resources, whether you're wanting to learn more about a condition or, how to take control of your health, you can visit that website. And then also, again, that mylifecheck.org to check out your numbers and learn what your heart score is. Yeah,
as long as you've got the numbers to plug in, you can find out a lot, possibly even more than your doctor's telling you.
Exactly. And sometimes, it's a little shocking to some when you put those numbers in because, the reality is 90% of Americans are not in the ideal heart health. So it's a good chance that when you put those numbers in, you probably won't get that perfect score, but, it'll give you some tips on where you can improve.
And it's a little bit like the difference between what you see when you look in a mirror and what you see in a photograph of yourself.
Exactly.
In a mirror, you're kind of editing it out. In a picture, you really can't. You go, well, I don't eat the best, but my weight's still under control. But when you put that all into perspective and run the numbers, you're going to see a little bit of a difference.
Yeah. It is. It is. Yeah. It's a little shocking, but, it's a great resource just to get you started.
A great motivator. Yeah.
Yes.
To help you to make a change.
Yeah, exactly. And we're still in the new year, so, it's before the summer, so it's a good time to take control of your health.
And I know you were saying that 80% is preventable. I know a lot of people go, well, it just runs in my family, but that is not the be-all and end-all. Right?
Exactly. We do hear a lot from people, I suffered this because it runs in my family, when in fact there were probably some things that they could have done to help prevent it. So, that 20% is such a small percent. And yes, there are some instances where there is nothing that the person could have done to help change that. But in most cases, whether it's, losing a little bit of weight, monitoring your blood pressure, staying away from fatty foods, 80%, that's just a huge number. And so knowing that and knowing that you can control that, I think is, so beneficial if we would just take action.
Yeah. I know certain things run in my family, but I also know that my genes didn't make me eat those Doritos. So
right, exactly. Yes.
We have to take ownership. Take ownership of your body.
That's right. That's right. Everything in moderation. So.
Exactly. Exactly. So,
Yes.
Heart Ball's coming up on the 17th. You can find out more at heart.org. Also, mylifecheck.org lets you plug in your numbers and find out all sorts of interesting facts about your heart health and what you might need to do to improve it. Megan Ramsey, the Marketing and Communications Director for the American Heart Association of the Upstate. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. Absolutely.
And like I said, we're here recording this on Go Red Day, so she is probably one of the busiest people in the Upstate today, but she made the time to talk to us. So again, thank you so much, Megan.
Thank you. Have a great one.
And you too. And have a great month.
Yes, absolutely.
We will be back with more Earth Changers right after this.